Story 1. I slept with my roommate's boyfriend, but it was an accident. Okay, so I 21, female actually slept with my best friend, Tar, roommate boyfriend, but it was a complete accident. This happened a while ago. Me and my roommate, that we will call Kate, were watching a movie on the couch when her boyfriend came over to our apartment. They were cuddling on the couch when I decided to go take a shower. But while I was in the bathroom, she came and said she wanted to go first. So I went back to our room we shared and was on the bed under the covers, half asleep when I heard the door open, and I felt some come in the bed with me. Then they started to kiss my neck and touch me. I started to moan when he put his hand over my mouth and kept on touching my boobs and squeezing my nipples. After a while, he slid his hand down to my panties and started to rub my clit. The whole time this was happening, Kate was in the next room taking a shower. After about a minute, he got on top of me, then started to kiss me and move my panties to the side, and he put it in me. It was so big. He was stretching me out. He was so rough with me. He was biting me and pounding me so hard. I tried to hold in my moans, but I couldn't. He was so good I started to come after about 3 minutes, but that when he kind of realized something was wrong. But he kept going and whispered in my ear, "Can you not take daddy sick today? I guess I'll just have to teach you a lesson and be harder on you." After he said that, I hear the shower turn off, but I could get the words out to say stop. My mind was just going blank from how amazing he was. He kept fucking me hard when Kate walked into the living room. And I guess because she didn't see us there, she came back to the room, opened the door, and turned on the lights to see her boyfriend deep inside me. When the lights came on, he filled me up with his hot, steamy load. But at the same time, he realized what he just did. But Kate wasn't mad. She just walked over to the bed and kissed her boyfriend and said, "Don't stop." So from then on, all three of us would have sex whenever her boyfriend came over. But he likes using me more than her. Story 2. I, 23, female, slept with my roommate 2 years prior to my current boyfriend, 23, male. It's ruining our relationship now. My 23 boyfriend and I have a great relationship. Aside from jealousy and insecurity, I completely understand some insecurity for this situation, as it's not a normal one to be in. However, my roommate and I had slept together a few times while I was single. No romantic feelings were there, and we only did it while we were alone and drunk. Granted, I regret that decision for many reasons. We've been able to maintain a friendship and look past that. We signed a lease together with two other girls I know. All happened when I was single. Well, now I'm in a relationship, and my boyfriend is very uncomfortable with this situation, and has been before I even moved in. 6 months prior to moving in, he was obsessing over it. My roommate's name has become Voldemort, because if I mention anything, he will shut down and become nonverbal for sometimes hours at a time, and it will ruin our whole day. So I've learned not to mention my roommate. At this point, I have gone no contact with all of my roommates in an attempt to please my boyfriend and show him that this happened before him, and I only want to be with him. He refuses to leave my room if he stays over, and I've been so guilty that I don't leave my room when I stay to avoid interaction with my roommate. I've been moved in for 3 months, have been in the living room maybe 3 times, and that was all during move-in. I have yet to cook here. God forbid we see my roommate at the gym, the grocery store, or out at any bars, as I know this will ruin our day, and I have to spend the rest of the day feeling guilty for something that happened before my boyfriend. Not to mention, if I mention I've been somewhere before and it wasn't with my boyfriend, he assumes it was with my roommate and will then become sour about it. Again, I haven't hung out with my roommate in almost a year, haven't slept with him in about 2. He blames all of his other insecurities on my roommate. There have been guy friends that will talk to me at the gym who are friends with my boyfriend as well, and he gets upset. He's gone through my phone twice to read texts with other guys, which have all been innocent and only relate to work or school. I have been so loyal to him, and this is becoming increasingly frustrating for me to feel guilty for things that happened when I was single. So Reddit, am I just being close-minded for thinking he's obsessive over my roommate and letting his insecurity ruin our relationship? Too long. Didn't read. I slept with my roommate 2 years ago, and my boyfriend has huge insecurity that is ruining our relationship. Story 3. My female 21 dad slept with my roommate, and I don't know how I feel about that. To start, let me just say that I love my dad. My parents divorced just before I started high school, but my dad made my sisters and I his focus. He worked 2 and sometimes 3 jobs so that he could live near us, still take us on vacations, buy us decent used cars, and help pay a good chunk of our college tuition. He was also always there for me and my sisters, listened to our problems, etc. You get the idea. Just an all-around solid guy. He never had a serious relationship after splitting with my mom, but he had lady friends that we occasionally met. I realized early on that these were FWBs, and most of the time were the stereotypical younger midlife crisis type girlfriends. But he never put them before us, and I realized he has needs, so they didn't really bother me. Okay, so that's a little bit of background. Now, here's what happened. I had a long weekend from school, so I decided to come home. My roommate didn't have anything to do, so she came with me. My one sister was at school, and my other sister was at our mom's for the weekend, so it was just the three of us. The last night we were there, we shared a bottle of wine, and my dad was reminiscing about being our age. He talked about going to shows, trips he took, stuff like that. I could tell my roommate was eating it up. They like the same type of music. My roommate also doesn't have much of a family life, so she probably saw what I grew up with and was a little jealous. We all went to our rooms around 12:30. My dad's room is adjacent to mine. My roommate was staying in my sister's room, which is on the other side of his condo. About 10 minutes later, as I was drifting off, I heard footsteps outside my door. I then heard my dad's door open and close. It soon became apparent what was going on because my roommate can be rather loud. At one point, I swear she said daddy, and that was when I put my earbuds in and pretended this nightmare wasn't unfolding in the neighboring room. At some point, she must have done her walk of shame back to her room because in the morning, she came out of the room she was supposed to be sleeping in. That morning, she was giddy, maybe cum drunk. We were all sitting at the table eating breakfast, and at one point, she got up to get coffee and brushed up against him in such an exaggerated way that I think I visibly cringed. I think they had a quickie just before we left, because when I came back from loading my stuff in the car, they both came out of the bedroom she had slept in, and I heard the door unlock before it opened. And before you ask, visitor parking at my dad's condo is a few minutes away. So, all in all, they probably had about 10 to 15 minutes alone. On the way back to school, my roommate was gushing about how much fun she had and how cool my dad is. She didn't say anything about sleeping with him. Things have been okay, if not a bit awkward, since we got back to school on Monday. I'm not sure how I feel about all of this. I realize that they are both consenting adults and that she initiated this. But this is someone who sleeps 4 feet away from me who has seen my dad's penis. She's also a bit younger than what he normally goes for, and I don't know if either of them have expectations going forward. I really like hanging out with my roommate, but now things are different. Reddit, please help me process this. Too long. Didn't read. My roommate and dad had sex. Not sure I'm okay with that. Story 4. 31 female. Slept with my roommate's husband, 34 male. Not sure how to proceed. I am a single woman who bought a multi-bedroom house not too long ago. In order to help cover the cost of the mortgage, I thought it would be a good idea to bring in some roommates to rent out the spare rooms. A female friend of mine moved in, along with her husband and their 2-year-old child. Everything had been going great for a while, living under the same roof. A couple months ago, my friend and her husband's relationship started getting a little rocky, and things didn't seem to be going well between them. They decided to spice things up in the bedroom by inviting others into the bedroom with them. One day, we're all hanging out in the living room, and I started cuddling up with both of them. My friend leaves the room, and suddenly her husband kisses me. I kiss back, and to be honest, some pent-up feelings for him started to emerge. She returned, and I didn't really know what to do. After a while, I felt it was appropriate to tell her. I didn't want any secrets. Her and her husband had a long chat, and he talked about his feelings for me. We all sat down together, and the sentiment was maybe it would be good to open up the relationship with me involved. We all, as friends, got high and had a threesome together, which was unusual, but definitely confirmed my attraction for him. Afterwards, however, she changed her mind and said this situation was kind of bothering her. So we all agreed that it may be best to put a pause on this for now. The husband, however, approached me and told me that although she was a little overwhelmed at the moment, she would be more receptive to a poly arrangement and that it was what they both needed. She was just going through some things that didn't put her in the best headspace at the time. Later that week, in the mornings, the husband started sneaking into my room to talk, while the rest were sleeping. We talked a lot about our feelings, about what we could do to make everyone in the house happy, including her. Eventually, the conversation, however, veered to having sex, since we definitely knew at this point we were attracted to each other. After a couple of these morning meetings, I figured that we shouldn't be doing things this way and should be more open if we were all going to be in a coexisting relationship. So I told her. We sat her down and told her that we wanted to continue our relationship and wanted to see what we could do to make her more comfortable about an open relationship. Me and him had opened Pandora's box in a way, and our mutual feelings were not something we could really close back up. So we thought about the best way to move forward. She got very upset and hysterical. I told her that I wanted to help her be happy, that I understood there's been a lot of stressful stuff going on with her mental health, and that I had a therapist friend that could really help while she works through some of that stuff. She then left the house, taking her kid, and has been gone for weeks. Not sure what to do here.